भवमहागावाग्निर्वापनम् Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vino Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Shri Gurudev
Ki Jai.
Shri Prabhupada
Ki Jai.
Rupal Guru Varga Ki Jai. Can you give me that charter, please? Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Radha Vino Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Radha Ramana Ju Ki Jai. Giriraj Mahārāja Ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. This hat is a little too hot for me, so I'm making the switch. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, which is getting damaged from Parikrama. Shri Gauriya Giti Guccha, Vandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Padakamalam. I trust that Jiva Pavana Prabhu has already posted it.
I don't know if he's there
So,
yet.
Jiva Pavana Prabhu has very kindly been posting the bhajans in the comment section of the thread. So just scroll down to Jiva Pavana Prabhu or to his most recent post, and there you will find the bhajans and you can follow along, unless you have a book or the app. Please forgive me for this, it's going to be a little strange for a second. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Dāmodarāṣṭakam Shri Guru Vaishnavāścha Shri Rūpam Sāgrajatam Sahavana Raghunatham Vitam Pansajivam Savetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahavana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Shri Krishna Lila Kadane Sudaksham Adarya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Nārāyaṇam Tvam Shirasam Namami Tridandiram Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Lila Amrita Sarasaram Nārayaṇam Tvam Savatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Prajñā Keshava Niti Namine Bhakti Charitrāya Svashritanam Chapaline Jiva Dute Sadarpaya Shri Nama Premadayine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shiva Shabhaya Devi Daitaya Kripabhaya Krishna Sambandha Vidyana Daine Brahmave Namaha Madhurya Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktiya Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinakarine Rupanuga Viruddhamo Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vaidagya Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambandhe Padam Bhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Vibhava Bhume Swam Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhoma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya eva ca Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jayatam Surato Pando Mama Mandam Bhagavati Matsarvasva Padam Radha Madhavano Divya Vrindavan Śrīmad Grantagara Simhasanastho Shri Shri Radha Shri Govinda Deva Preshthalihi Sevyamana Smarani Shriman Rasa वंशिमत्तत्त्वस्थितः कर्षन्नेन्दुस्वनर्गोमे गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदेवे सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकम् भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहाभावग्निनिर्वापनम् श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्याविधुजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्वपरं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरे नाम हरेर्नामैव केवलं करोन्नस्त्येव नस्त्येव नस्त्येव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
So, I don't know if Jiva Pavana Prabhu has come today. Oh, he's there. Okay. Dandavat Pranam, all beautiful Vaishnavas.
Dandavat Pranam.
Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman, page 359 in the songbook. Or whatever Jiva Bhavana Prabhu has posted. Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Is that still online? Sudevi?
Yeah, so far.
Okay. I can set this up so you can see it.
No, it's fine. It's better not to tax this too much if possible.
Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
Oh Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
वर्ग की जय, श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय। I can set this up as a hotspot for you so that you can.
No, it's okay.
But
I can see it.
One second. Personal hotspot.
Kishori.
Here.
Really, it's okay unless you need it. Which one? So we have time to.
Thakur Vaishnava Pada Avanira Susampada, page 38 in the songbook.
And it starts with
Thakura
Thakura
Vaishnava Pada. One second. Thakura Vaishnava Pada Avanira Susampada.
Thakura Vaishnava Pada Avanira Susampada.
जाते होय वांछित पुराण
जाते होय वांछित पुराण
ओ वैष्णव संगीते आनंदितो यनुषा
वैष्णव संगीते आनंदिता
सदा होय कृष्ण करो संग
सदा होय कृष्ण पर संग
सदा होय कृष्ण कर संग
सदा होय कृष्ण
वैष्णवस की
जय।
जय।
Which one so we can look?
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे.
Page number?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
99, 96.
Wait, don't say it. We know it. Shri Krishna.
96.
Oh, very good.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Now I'm going to put it a little lower so that we can all participate.
Thank you.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kuru More
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Karo More
Tuma Vina Kedoyaru Jagat Samsare
Tuma Vina Kedoyaru Jagat Samsare
Patita नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, श्री सत गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय, श्री गुरु पार्षद वृंद की जय। For Bandhu Sangha?
Are you doing Bandhu Sangha?
Yes. Bandhu Sange Jaritava Ranga Parihas, page 124 in our songbook. If you don't have a songbook, then Jiva Pavan Prabhu very kindly posts the bhajans in the comment section of the thread. So scroll to the name Jiva Pavana and you will find the bhajan along with translation and generally followed by beautiful commentaries from our acharyas.
So I'm sorry, what page?
Page 124.
124. We can try Bhaktivedānta Govinda Mahārāja's. Is it too difficult?
It goes to extremes.
Okay, everything does.
Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga pariha.
Bandhu sange jadi tava ranga parihas.
O bandhu sange jadi tava ranga
Radhe Braj Jana Mana Sukhakari, Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. That's page 366.
66. Starts with Braja, B-R-A-J-A, Jana Mana Sukhakari.
Let's take it out, Mahārāja. Mahārāja? Definitely not that one. Or maybe this one. There we go. Śrī Radhe Braj Jana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam
Radhe Braja Jana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Shama
Radhe Braj Jana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam
Radhe Braja Jana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Shama
Shrimati Radha Rani ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki
Jai.
jai. What is that?
I don't know.
She just said randomly page 190. I have no idea what that is.
No, I don't
Wow.
know. What is it?
It's amazing because today I was thinking I want to sing something before we sing Shri Harinam, and she picked Aparada Phale Mama. Chitta Bhelo Vajra Sama. This is based on the 6th verse of Śrī Satyavrata.
I think I'm at 290.
No, it's too low, too late now.
Okay.
So, Nayanam Galarashridharaya Vadanam Gadgada Rudhaya Gira Pulakairanichitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying that when will that time come when tears will flow from my eyes, when my voice will be choked up, where hairs will stand on end on my body as I'm calling out your holy names. But here he's also speaking, Bhaktivedānta Thakur is telling the meaning behind it, that due to my offenses, my heart has become hard like a thunderbolt and feels no transformation from chanting your name. Downcast, O Hari, I cry out your name again and again in great distress. Interesting, because the other day I was having a conversation with one devotee, and he was sharing with me that sometimes when one does kirtan or when one preaches, then devotees come back and they say, "Oh Prabhu, that was so wonderful, you did so great," and then they get very proud of it. And so then they decide, oh, maybe I just shouldn't chant and I shouldn't preach because I'm going to become proud from it. I have watched people for years literally rot away their valuable human form of life because of fear of becoming proud of chanting the names of Krishna and speaking about Krishna and the possibility of the glory that can come as a result of that. And maybe some of you may have also felt that from time to time. So what is the recipe? Is the recipe given by our parampara that we should stop chanting the holy name and instead absorb ourselves in the material energy? Or is the recipe that we should continue chanting the holy name and praying? So even in this first verse, he's saying, I feel no transformation from chanting your holy name. My heart is hard like a thunderbolt. Why does it say hard like a thunderbolt? Because a thunderbolt is so hard that it can even smash stone. So that kind of hardness, that it is so hard that even that can break stone. Instead, he says here, still I cry out your name again and again in great distress. So also in the 7th verse of Sri Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami is telling Syat Krishna Nama Charitari Satyavidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Narochikanu Tintvādarād Anulinam Kalushaimajushta Svadvi Kramad Bhatati Tad Gadamulahantri. That although in the beginning, for someone who has jaundice, means they are very, very sick with a liver disease, when they take sugar candy, it tastes bitter. Still, that sugar candy, although it tastes bitter at this time, is the remedy for that jaundice. And over time, by taking that sugar candy continuously, then the jaundice will be dispelled, that bitter flavor will disappear, and then the sweetness will arise. So over time, as purification is taking place, then gradually all anarthas, all avidya, everything which is unfavorable, will be dissipated, and then we will be able to taste the holy names. Nowhere in any of our shastras or by any of our Guru Varga is it recommended that we stop chanting the holy names and stop speaking about Krishna out of fear of becoming proud of it. The only remedy is that same thing. What is the remedy for pride? To develop a higher taste in serving Krishna and to serve the Vaishnavas who are truly humble. So it is not the remedy to stop remembering Krishna. The remedy is to always remember Krishna and never forget him. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said the same thing in his Upadeshavali, where he said, don't, as mundane thoughts arise while taking Harinam, one should not become discouraged. A secondary consequence of taking Harinam is that these useless, mundane thoughts will gradually dissipate. Therefore, one should not worry about this. By dedicating one's mind, body, and words to serving Śrī Nam and continuing to chant with great persistence, Śrī Nam Prabhu will grant one darshan of his supremely auspicious, transcendental form. And by continuing to chant until one's anarthas are fully eradicated, by the power of Śrī Nam, realization of his form, qualities, and pastimes will automatically arise. So it's not expected that from the very moment of our beginning our spiritual path that all of our anarthas are dispelled. That's actually ludicrous. The beginning or the initiation process is not a proof that we have attained perfection. That is the beginning. And gradually, as we are progressing, then as we look back, everything that was so prominent will become less and less prominent. So our process is to always chant the holy names of the Lord, and gradually, through that process, and especially in the association of Vaishnavas, purification will take place in our heart. Purification means what was once so important, all of our important material things, becomes less and less and less prominent until it ceases to have any prominence whatsoever, because desperate obsession for Krishna is present there. So even externally, everything might appear to be one way, but if you are obsessed with Krishna, that eternal beloved of every soul's heart, then everything else might be going on, but one pointed focus will be there. There will be no interest or no attraction to anything of this world whatsoever. Like our Srila Gurudev told Sudevi, if you have already given up everything, then you should be giving initiation, not accepting. Without a higher taste, why would you want to give it up? So that higher taste is necessary. How to acquire that higher taste? That is our aspiration. Wherever, however, whenever we can acquire that thing which makes us become focused on Krishna and lose focus on the material world and all mundane things, then we should somehow or other get that. Purchase it without delay, or by hook or by crook, one way or another, that we might find that inspiration to run on the path of devotion to Krishna. Aparadha pale mama chitabelo vajra sama. Oh, that's smart. Sudevi just told the internet man we're going to charge him for making us lose our work.
I just said it was work. I meant our seva. You should make that clear. Kishori. I just said it was work, but it's seva. Make it
Our only work is our seva, just so you know.
I just had to threaten it.
Aparadha pale mama chitta bhelo vajra sama.
Damodarāṣṭakam before or after? We do it before, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Damodarāṣṭakam. Sorry, I couldn't sing that tune.
It's okay. We're not accustomed to singing it, but we will start singing them more.
Very good.
Śrī Dāmodara
Ki Jai.
Radha Ki Jai.
Jai.
Radha Vino Bihari Ju Sashinandana Gaur Hari
Ki Jai.
Shalagram Giriraj Ki Jai. Laddu Gopal Ki Jai. Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, page 290, 290. And we are singing for us, the older tune.
I call it David Geese tune.
Prema Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
So is the internet working now, Sudevi, or not?
No, it's not working.
Okay. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giring Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev. Nitya Lila Pravishtabam Vishnupad Ashtotara Shatashi Śrīmad Śrī Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishtabam Vishnupad Ashtotara Shatashi Śrīmad Śrī Bhaktivedānta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. And to all of our Rupanuga, Gauriya, Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham.
Are we going anywhere tomorrow?
No, because we didn't give enough notice. We'll go the day after.
We didn't give enough notice?
I usually give a full day.
Okay. We were quite busy today, but we will go soon. So not
A special place. No.
a special.
They're all
secret,
special.
Special secret
Yeah,
place.
it's going to be a secret.
Ooh, nice. So, before entering into this beautiful treasure, Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, first we would like to offer our Dandavat Pranam and pray to those personalities who have manifested Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam and the deeper inner meanings. It is manifest in the heart of Śrī Satyavrata Muni, written down in Śrī Padma Purana by Ved Vyas, commented on in Sanskrit by Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī, then commented on by Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, our Param Gurudev, and then commented on by our Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj. Needless to say, it is full of treasures within treasures, within treasures, within treasures, within treasures. So many beautiful jewels are being manifested. Before entering into this beautiful treasure chest and investigating its contents and studying those contents very carefully, we will first pray to all of these personalities in the words of Śrī Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairāga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnai Apayanan Mamana Vipshamandam Kripam Vidirya Padadukuduki Sanatanastham Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods, which are present within these pages, manifest itself within our hearts. So now we're still studying the second verse, verse 2, and we're in the commentary of our Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj. So that second verse, we will chant Rudantam Muhurunitra Yugmam Vrijantam Karambo Jayugmeno Shatam Kanetram Muhushashakam Patrirekam Kakantha Stitagraivam Damodaram Bhaktivadham Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam La Satkundalam Gokule Brajamanam. So, yesterday we ended up on verses actually discussing prem. And you won't see the shlokas here, but Srila Gurudev is referencing them in that last paragraph. Mother Yashoda made an intense endeavor with unflinching resolve. So this is her nishta. Her mood was do or die. She was swearing to Nārayaṇa, Bhagavan Nārayaṇa. Mind you, she doesn't worship Krishna in the way that we do on the altar. She worships Krishna on the altar of her heart. With, of course, she has that paraphernalia, but that paraphernalia is used practically. We're waving the fire like this. When she's waving the fire, how is she waving it? Krishna has come home late, and she's looking over his whole body to make sure he's okay. We're offering water, but she's offering her tears and her milk. So it's such a different expression. We're doing some external thing, but really our Srila Gurudev and our Acharyas have explained that we should somehow or other pray and endeavor to enter into that mood instead of just doing an external ritual, waving fire in the face of God. What does it mean? How can I adjust my consciousness to be conscious of Krishna? Instead of just doing an external ritual, we can make it look good. How many times you twirl that chamra and how your body swings when you're turning it and like this, or how you're playing the mridanga and at the right time, when you flex your muscles, your kurta pops open and all the girls go, oh my God, like this. It's easy to do that stuff, but to actually offer your heart with love and affection, with a deep meaning and an intention behind it. For that, we need to take shelter of the pure Vaishnavas who understand all of these deeper meanings. And when they explain it to us, it's revolutionary. You mean there's something behind that? Why are we waving a stick with a little, you wave it out and it's got smoke on it. Why are we waving that stick with fragrance in circles around the forms of the Lord? So this is something for us to investigate. This is called sadhana, to search. What is the reason behind it? Why am I doing it? How does it correlate with what I am aspiring for in my eternal goal, my eternal transcendental seva? How does all of this fit together? If we just remain on the surface, we may never know. But if we endeavor to go a little deep, we'll begin to realize, understand, appreciate, and even relish what we are doing on the path of bhakti. Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta, Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja explained that nothing that our Goswamis have given us is without purpose. It all has a deep mood and a deep inner intention, a purpose. And we can trust what they have given us 100%. There might be so many different instructions and so many different scriptures. That's not for us to dive into and pick and choose whimsically or randomly. We can end up very, very far from what our goal, our nature's intention and goal is.
They've already done it.
They've already done that for us. They have picked those wonderful sweet fruits from that tree of Vedic knowledge and presented those which are favorable for us to progress on the path of bhakti. So, Mother Yashoda made an intense endeavor with unflinching resolve. Firm nishta, she's praying to Śrīmad Nārayaṇa. Yashoda and Nanda worship Shalagram Shila. Which one? Narasingha Shalagram. Narasingha is that form of the Lord who protects young children, right? Lord Nrsimhadev protected Prahlad. So they worship Narasingha Shila. What are they praying? Please protect our baby boy, Krishna. But she worships Krishna with her milk, which is the manifestation of her Vatsalya praying. Her parental love and affection for Krishna manifests in the form of her milk. That is its nature. So she worships him like that. But Nārayaṇa in the temple, she doesn't worship like that. She worships Nārayaṇa for the purpose of protecting Krishna. So even when the Brajavasis appear to worship demigods, like Srimati Radhika goes to Surya Kund, her family, Vrishabhanu Mahāraja's family, they're in the dynasty of the sun and they worship the sun god. So on the pretext of worshipping the sun god, what is she doing? She's going to meet Krishna. So even her intention of going to the Surya temple at Suryakund is only to meet and serve Krishna. So that sun god is only an assistance for that. Everything in Braj is an assistance for serving or pleasing Krishna. So Gurudev is referencing in this small bit of commentary how the sadhakas, following her example, should try to melt the heart of Krishna by practicing devotional service that is imbued with characteristics like sincere, loving emotions, bhav. So what are the symptoms of bhav? Kshantir avyakta kalatvam viraktir manashunyata ashabandha sumutkanta namagane sadaruchi. So all of these different, they are also pritistad vasati stale. So here he's mentioning it. Great enthusiasm. Utkanta. Ashabandha means with great hope. Sam utkanta means with great eagerness. Here Gurudev is saying great enthusiasm and anxiousness. Namagane sadaruchi, developing taste for the qualities and the names of Krishna. Nama, Gane, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Developing intense attachment, ashaktis, tadgunakyane. Attachment to what? Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. Pritis tadvasati stale. And developing love and affection for Krishna. These are all the symptoms of bhava bhakti. So here Gurudev is mentioning all of these, and then a feeling of possessiveness, mamata, and intense affection for him, priti. Priti, as I just said, pritis tadvasati stale. Deep love and affection, which is the goal. If you have seen, Dashmula Tattva by Srila Bhaktivedānta, the last one, Sadhyam Tat Pritim. The goal, sadhya, is that divine love and affection. Priti, it's praying. Sadhyam, the goal of our everything is to develop that love and affection for Krishna. And this is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Edet Viparishati Janan Gaura Chandra Swayam Saha. This is the teaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So regarding the previously mentioned verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, beginning Svamatu, an important point must be considered. That verse is saying that Krishna saw that his mother's body had become overcome or drenched with perspiration. The garlands woven into her braid had fallen out, and she had become utterly exhausted. Seeing his mother's fatigue, Sri Krishna compassionately allowed himself to be bound. Because of hearing from and reading from Srila Gurudev over the years, when I hear that Krishna allowed himself, something in me sees it from the tattva perspective, that yes, as God, he's allowing himself. But as the darling son of Yashoda, he has no choice. So both are happening simultaneously. One, he's allowing himself. On the other side, he doesn't know. He's just her darling son. And by his own internal potency, because of his desire to not upset his friends who are waiting for him, he doesn't want to be bound. He's like, they're going to be upset. I don't want to upset them. So I don't want to be bound. So Yogamaya is saying, okay, let's not bind him. So 2 fingers too short. And of course, this is also showing the endeavor and the mercy which is necessary. And yet, when Mother Yashoda makes that vow to Nārāyaṇa, do or die, if it takes my entire life, I will not stop until I bind him. And her friends are laughing at her. Oh, you can't bind that small little child whose waist is only the size of your fist? You cannot bind him with all the ropes in Gokul? So they were also teasing her and clapping and laughing. And she was like, I must bind him. And for his benefit, I must discipline him. So, from the perspective of Vatsalya Prem, she does not think he's God. And because of that Vatsalya Prem, the parental love and affection, he also takes on this mugdhata, forgetting also that he is God and that he's simply her son. They don't know that Krishna is God, and he doesn't know he's God. He forgets. Maybe some aspect of him knows, but that aspect is completely covered by the prema of the Brajavasis so much that he himself forgets. That's why he was running in fear of her. That's why when she held her stick, he was weeping and rubbing his eyes. And his heart was pounding, his breathing was quick, his jewelry was shaking, he was trembling in fear. Although fear itself and death itself is afraid of him. So simultaneously, all of these things are going on. So we are referencing here, he compassionately allowed himself to be bound. So Srila Gurudev is saying that regarding the previously mentioned verse, that verse in Śrīmad Bhagavatam beginning Svamatu, an important point must be considered. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary on this verse, Krishna's waist measures only 12 fingers. So if you took 12 fingers and put them all together, like this, 12 of these, and bound them around, that's how big his waist is. Very small. And the length of the rope continually increased. Why then could his mother still not bind him? Krishna was thinking, my important daily activities of stealing butter and playing with my friends will be stopped. So my mother should not tie me up. This is what's important to Krishna. Daily activities of playing with his friends and stealing butter. In this connection, you know how us humans, we make so many important things in our lives. And then you look at the monkeys in Vrindavan, and they have their important things. They're not building houses or anything. You know what's important to them? They sit there for hours picking bugs out of each other. That's important for them. It's very important. And this is their nature. So everyone's got their nature. And what's important for Krishna? For Krishna, it is stealing butter and playing with his friends. This is his important daily activity. Where his mother might not consider that important. She's doing other things for Krishna. But what's important for Krishna is stealing butter and playing. So he was feeling, my mother shouldn't tie me up or else I cannot do my important daily activities. Immediately, by this feeling, his Aishwarya Shakti, or his desire potency, Ichha Shakti, it doesn't say Ichha here, but Ichha means desire, his Aishwarya Shakti, which makes the impossible possible. Does anyone know the terminology in Sanskrit? For whoever posts that verse, either the one from that bhajan we sing, or the proper Sanskritic term, if anyone can post that, they get an instantaneous 1,000 points and a few stars. Not you, Sudevi. So immediately his Aishwarya Shakti, which makes the impossible possible, manifest herself within him and proceeded to serve him. Consequently, although the size of his waist remained the same, and although the rope was made so long, his mother could not bind him. Come on, I'm waiting. Anyone?
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande.
There's the, what is it called?
Clue?
There's the clue. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. So now that she's given you the clue, if anyone can post the other one as well, the proper term for the
You said either.
power to make the impossible possible. So Gurudev is continuing. The Braj Gopis who were witnessing this pastime along with Mother Yashoda could not understand its mystery. Why was the rope 2 fingers too short? Krishna could not be bound by ordinary rope because all arrangements for his pastimes are made exclusively by his own intrinsic potency, Yogamaya. So all arrangements for his pastimes are made by his own internal potency, Yogamaya. Excuse me. I realized I didn't take any water since I started. Just like in Vaikuntha, Nārāyaṇa desired something. What did he desire? He has within him virras. He desired to fight. So immediately, because he desired, everything is automatically taken care of. That's the meaning of Atmaram and Aptakam. He has no desires outside of himself. He's self-satisfied, means whatever he desires is immediately, instantaneously fulfilled. There's nothing that he needs to worry about in terms of that. The moment that desire, that virras manifested, then his devotees wanted to reciprocate with his desire because this is the nature of devotees. So Jai and Vijay decided, yes. This is also by the arrangement of Yogamaya, by Krishna's internal potency. We want to satisfy his desire. And then subsequently, and also previously, there were so many conditions which brought that situation into play. But through everything that took place, then Jaya and Vijay were cursed by the four Kumaras. They had disrespected the four Kumaras. And then Nārayaṇa comes out, smiling ever so slightly, being fanned with chamaras, big beautiful umbrella with white pearls dangling from it, twirling a lotus flower, looking so beautiful, bumblebees flying around his garland. And he comes to the gate of Vaikuntha, where Jaya and Vijay and the four Kumaras are, and he's smiling. All of this happened because of my will, my desire. So then these two became Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Shishupal, Dantavakra, and finally, Jagai Madai, Ngorlila. But it was simply by his desire that everything manifested. In the same way, Krishna, little Krishna, he has his desire. His desire is simply that I have important work to do. I need to steal butter and play with my friends. So that desire is manifesting very strongly in his heart. His mother is trying to keep him bound at home, and he needs to go out with his friends and his calves and his cows and play. And so because this desire is so overwhelming in his heart, Yogamaya is making it that his mother cannot find him. So Krishna could not be bound by ordinary rope because all arrangements for his pastimes are made exclusively by his own intrinsic potency, Yoga Maya. There's Mahamaya, which is the Bahiranga Shakti, or Krishna's external potency, that we are all completely consumed with, or consumed within. Krishna's divine energy, Daiviyesha Gunamayi Mamamaya, so manifesting in the form of the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, playing on all bound jivas within the material universes. And then there's his internal potency. This is also a kind of Maya, but it is his transcendental Maya, or Yoga Maya, by whom all the Brajavasis do not understand that Krishna is God, and by whom Krishna himself is able to be controlled by their love and affection. So Yogamaya manifests and arranges all of Krishna's pastimes. Furthermore, there is no outside or inside of Krishna, nor is there any beginning or end of him. So we've heard this in terms of God, that he is everywhere, inside, outside of everything. Everything is in him, and he is in everything. This is a definition that may be given of God. He's unlimited. You cannot find any end to him. Ananta. Advaitam achutam anadim ananta rupam adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha. All of these descriptions are given. Sarvakarana karana. So we can see so many different definitions for God. And here we see there's no inside or outside. There's no beginning or end. He exists eternally in his Svarup, both before creation of the phenomenal universes and after their total destruction. Does anyone know the verse in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, one of the nutshell verses of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, where the Supreme Lord is stating exactly that? Before the creation, only I exists. Only I existed. Now only I exist, and even after the destruction of creation, only I will exist. Does anyone know that verse? Please post it. Bhagavatam. One of the 4 nutshell verses. I've given a clue. No one has posted that. Okay. No one has posted the power to make the impossible possible in Sanskrit. So in the interim, he, the Supreme Lord, pervades all of the universes, residing within each of their atoms. Can you imagine that? How many atoms are in creation? Within just this microphone stand. What to speak of this room? What to speak of all of Vrindavan? What to speak of all of India or this whole world? What to speak of this entire universe? What to speak of unlimited universes? We cannot even conceive of it. And yet he resides within each and every atom of all creation. Yet all the while, he remains Akila Rasamrita Murti, the original form of condensed, transcendental, or transcendent nectar in its totality. Akila Rasamrita Murti. Murti means form, and Akila means in its maximum completion, and Rasa Amrita means the nectar of taste, of mellows, of love, affection, devotion. So he is the form of all of that in its totality. Thus Sri Krishna, being forever beyond the purview of mundane sense perception, is thoroughly inconceivable. Does anyone know the Sanskrit for inconceivable? Kurunamai Vekkam. Do you know the shlok? That only I existed before everything. And after everything is finished, only I exist. Okay. In fact, Raso Vaisaha, he is nectar. Thus, Sri Krishna, being forever beyond the purview of mundane sense perception, is thoroughly inconceivable. So, achintya means inconceivable. Advaitam, achutam, anadim, anantarupam. I think it's in there. Achintya swarupam. Also, this word is in achintya bheda abheda tattva, inconceivable. So, he is thoroughly inconceivable beyond mundane sense perception. It means he cannot be calculated by the medium of the material senses, the material gross senses, or the material subtle senses, which is the mind and the intelligence, or the false ego. He is beyond that. But one who surrenders unto him, following the process of bhakti, can capture and conquer that personality, Supreme Personality, who is otherwise unconquerable. Does anyone know the name of Krishna, which means he cannot be conquered, or he is beyond the ability to capture by the medium of mundane senses? There is a name for him. There you go. Aham mevāsamevāgre nanyad yat sarasat param paschāraham yat etachcha yovashishyeta sosmyaham. That's one of the 4 nutshell verses of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, and that's where the Supreme Lord is telling that. So thank you, Keshava Priya. 1,000 points. Oh, Jiva Pavana Prabhu posted the Sanskrit There you go. So, he is nectar. Thus he is forever beyond the purview of mundane sense perception, is thoroughly inconceivable. Yet Mother Yashoda simply regards him as her son. Srila Gurudev, on numerous occasions, I cannot even count, he has said, one day we will have to forget that he is God, or even the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This understanding, Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will see this from the perspective of Tattva. That Godhead means in all creation, everything belongs to God. And the Supreme Personality means who has the most persona, who has the most qualities, the most beauty, the most everything, all of the Shris. That person who possesses all Shakti, that personality and that Supreme Personality can be said to only be Krishna. Even Nārāyaṇa is 4 qualities less than Krishna. Krishna has 4 madhuris that even Śrīmad Nārāyaṇa himself does not possess. 4 extra qualities. His lila, prema madhuri, his flute, his rupa, his beauty, and what was the other one? A lila madhuri, his pastimes. Even Śrīmad Nārāyaṇa does not possess this. So in all of Godhead, even among all of the other forms of God, Ram, Adi, Murti, they are all like kala, phases of the original full moon, Krishna Chandra. Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo. He is himself the Supreme Personality. But in Vrindavan, although they acknowledge that he is full of all attractive personality, all of his qualities and his pastimes and everything, and they're attracted to him, they don't see him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All they know is they love him. That's what they know. And their hearts are completely sold out to him. And they just want to think about him, love him, give him everything, spoil him. Their hearts are completely smitten by Krishna. But they don't think he's God. This is the speciality of Vrindavan. And it is so great that he also sometimes, or most of the time, forgets, I am God. That's why when Shamarani Didi asked Gurudev that question about Guru or Krishna being Sarvagya, Gurudev said Guru is more Sarvagya or all-knowing than Krishna. And if you think about it in terms of Krishna in Vaikuntha as Narayan, or Krishna in Dwarka as Dwarkadish, or even in Mathura or any other place, maybe that doesn't make sense. But he said, Krishna's too busy in Vrindavan playing with his friends and his mother and his gopis to think about all of these things. Yes?
I don't know. You didn't. You gave points. They don't want points. They want burpees.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
And Lalit Mohan is asking, what is a burpee?
You don't want... Really? You want 1,000 burpees?
You're going to be cooking when they all come.
Anyway, I have to translate points to burpees. So, okay, I'll make sure to offer you burpees. And if you can't handle the sweets, then we'll give you samosas also.
Okay, they only know they love him, and from there.
Just so you know, points is like Sukriti points. So.
Oh, you can give Sukriti points.
Well, I'm sure if they were to answer those questions in front of Gurudev, Gurudev would be very proud. So, okay. If they said Agata Gatanapati Asi Shakti, Gurudev were like, yes. So, okay, I cannot give you Sukriti, but your sincerity in bhakti and your ardent prayers to the lotus feet of Shri Guru can amass massive amounts of Sukriti within your heart. Okay, so Keshav Priya Didi gets burpees.
Oh, Jiva Bhavana Prabhu wanted burpees.
Jiva Bhavana Prabhu gets burpees too.
Did you see the question here?
Which one?
Anjali.
Oh, that's above. Hold on one second. Let me check this. So why does the Lord expand and retract back to himself? If he knows past and future, why even go through the whole making and destruction of the world? Why does God do what he does?
Answer that.
Theoretically, technically, he doesn't need to do anything. But he likes to.
He enjoys.
He wants to.
He's a supreme enjoyer.
Why does an artist make a painting? He doesn't need to do it. He doesn't really need to do it, but he likes to. And this is his sketch pad. So he's the supreme artist. He enjoys it. That's why anything exists. Really, ultimately, it's for his purpose. So why does he make the material world? There is a part of himself which is also eternal. Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashastran indriyani prakritisthani karshati. All of the jivas, they are his eternal fragmented parts and parcels, and they are meant, their nature is to love him. And yet he has not forced them to do so. In essence, we've been given a choice. And somehow we have chosen this path. The path of bondage. So we have bound ourselves, and that path of bondage requires something. So why is it all existing? In Jaiva Dharma, I believe it's chapter 16, there's a discussion there, a very prominent, powerful discussion. And it's quite interesting because that question, why is this place made? Why are we here? Why are we suffering? Those existential questions are answered in a very distinct way. The Supreme Lord has unlimited qualities. And as we have seen here, his prominent quality is his karunata, his mercy or compassion potency. From that, everything else manifests. With this compassion or mercy potency, when he has this tendency, it needs a place to go. So, for example, if you have an artistic tendency, it needs to be manifest. So how is it going to be manifest? Let's say you see something in your mind's eye and you need to manifest it. Where will you manifest it? You have colors, you have a board. So that board is where you will manifest your tendency to create art. So he has a tendency to give mercy. Where does it go? It needs to go to someone who needs it, who wants it, who's desperate for it. Who is that? All bound jivas in all material creations. That in essence is the purpose for the creation of the material worlds. So those jivas who are crying out for mercy attract the compassion and mercy of Bhagavan. And his compassion and mercy takes many forms, but especially one kind of form. That is the condensed form of the mercy and compassion of Krishna, who manifests in this world and stands in front of any jiva, giving them an opportunity and the training how to give their love and affection to Krishna. That is Shri Guru, Krishna Kripa Shri Murti, the form of the manifestation of Krishna's condensed mercy and compassion. So really, the reason for all of creation is for his own purposes. We're all here so that he can give mercy. And how do we reciprocate with his need to give mercy and compassion? Because this is how we can serve him, by receiving his mercy. And what does it mean to receive the mercy? His mercy has taken a form, has come and stood in front of us, and is offering us the greatest treasure, Krishna Prem. Saying, drink, take this nectar. Avoid all of that sewage of this material world and drink this nectar which I am offering you. So how do we reciprocate with Krishna's desire or need to give mercy and compassion? By accepting it. And that's how we will serve and please him. And from that, our relationship will grow. We will be able to progress in terms of our ability to serve and please. And gradually, forever, more and more, this seva-vritti will increase. And his experience of pleasure, of happiness by our service will also increase. And as an automatic effect of that, our experience of ananda will also automatically increase. What is burfi? Lady how? Burfi.
I think it's Lalit Mohan.
Lalit Mohan. If you take milk and sugar and you cook it down and down and down and down and down until most of the water has boiled off and it becomes very thick and starts to turn a little brown and turns into this very amazing fudge. It becomes quite thick. Then you can even cut it. That's burfi. And sometimes they add different flavors to it. Sometimes they even add a little extra ghee to make it a little bit more flavorful. And that is offered to Krishna, and then it is given to the devotees as prasadam, and that's why they're requesting it, because it is amazing. Oh, did someone put a, there you go. Someone put a recipe for burfi. Yes, but the burfi which is made from fresh ahimsa A2 milk is better. And definitely offered to Krishna. So it's milk fudge. So I recommend that you read this chapter 16 of Jayavadharma. It goes very, very deeply into that subject matter, and with so many refined points and shlokas as well, to give us a holistic view from it. Yes, to give us a holistic view of that conception. Because sometimes that question comes, even among devotees, you're like, why? Why is there so much suffering, so much strife, so much difficulty? What is the purpose of this place and why am I in it? And all of these questions are answered. Jayavadharma is amazing because as you're reading, so many questions come up naturally. You're thinking, but why? And then the next thing that you read is the answer to the question which comes up inside. And then you ask the question again, but what about this? And then you flip the page and the answer is there. The Bhaktivedānta Thakur has foreseen the questions manifesting in your heart and very expertly placed all of the answers with shastric evidence in such a way that you will actually have satisfactory answers. In many different paths, so many questions might come, but the answers may not be satisfactory. But these ones really give concrete, satisfactory answers. Maybe we might not like the answers, but they are good answers. And why am I saying we might not like it? Because we tend to superimpose onto God what we think is the best thing. Or rather, it should be the other way around. For example, why should the Brajabasis cook on cow dung? Why don't they just have a gas stove? Why don't we bring them a gas stove? Or why do Radha and Krishna have to feel separation from one another? We have WhatsApp. Why don't we bring them smartphones so that they don't have to feel separation? So we will superimpose our rasa onto them thinking what we have is superior. But everything is the way it is because that ultimately is what increases Krishna's transcendental pleasure unlimitedly. So it's how it is for a reason. I have often thought of those things. So Mother Yashoda simply regards Krishna as her son. Thinking of him in that way, she behaves with him in such a natural and seemingly ordinary way that her relationship with him may even appear to be like a relationship from this world. Does anyone know the Sanskrit term for a transcendental relationship which feels just like a worldly relationship, or which appears just like that? Lokik or Vishramena? Yes. Madhumangal asks a question. Dandavat Madhumangal. Why can't I be as greedy to taste the condensed form of Krishna's mercy as I am greedy to taste the condensed form of milk and sugar in the form of earthy? The comment came from right there. One is for my enjoyment. We can even approach Krishna for our own enjoyment. But Sri Guru does not generally appear to us for our enjoyment. Sri Guru appears to us to turn our selfish, self-serving tendency toward the tendency to love and serve Krishna for his happiness and his pleasure. Whereas we can approach Krishna's Mahaprasad in the form of burfi for our own enjoyment. So we have taste for it like that. Gradually, over time, by the association of the pure devotees who have no tendency for selfish sense enjoyment, but rather their only nature and tendency is to serve Krishna, gradually in their association, that selfish, self-serving, self-centered, and I'm not talking about soul, I'm talking about mundane, enjoying tendency that we have, will be eliminated as our tendency to serve Krishna is awakened. So by the mercy of Gurudev and Vaishnavas, prema bhakti jaha hoite, this tendency to serve Krishna will become awakened in the heart and grow and grow. First in the form of Shraddha, then Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav, Prem. And as that is growing, the other things, the anarthas, those things, those selfish, self-serving tendencies, our mundane enjoying tendencies, even the tendency to try to enjoy Krishna for ourselves, this gradually will be eliminated. Sambandha means relationship. Sambandha means to bind. Yes, please remind me if I ever speak any Sanskrit terms without giving the qualified definition in English, and you require that, please write it so that I can make that endeavor to explain it. Because sometimes I forget. I get excited and I start running through the Sanskritic terms and I forget to translate them. So she behaves with him in such a natural and seemingly ordinary way that her relationship with him may even appear to be like a relationship from this world. That is the speciality of Vrindavan. The relationship between the Brajavasis and Krishna looks just like ordinary, human-like pastimes. The way that the Brajavasis love Krishna and the way that they reciprocate in love and affection. That's what's so amazing to all of those great sages. They're thinking, wow, how fortunate are these Brajavasis? Aho bhagyam, that Krishna is playing like an ordinary boy in the courtyard of Nanda Baba. But they see him as the supreme absolute truth, the condensed form of the supreme absolute truth. And the Brajavasis are seeing him only as our dearest beloved. Because of that simple loving relationship, she was actually able to bind Sri Krishna. Krishna can never be bound by someone who has not abandoned all separate interest for selfish enjoyment, which are in opposition with the tendency to please him. So until we are completely purified of all of that selfish serving tendency for our own enjoyment, we will not be able to bind him. Krishna is only able to be bound with exclusive 100%, or as you've seen on the highway going to Delhi, 140% love and affection, which has no tinge of selfish, self-serving, material, enjoying tendency. No tinge of that. Exclusively for him. Krishna Anushilanam. For his happiness, for his pleasure, for his benefit. What is favorable for him? Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. This is what can bind Krishna, otherwise he cannot be bound. So that selfish, self-serving, separate interest is in opposition with the tendency to please him. So then we can look in our own hearts and see, do I have that? That's why I'm not able to bind him, because I find more interest here. But when one has exclusive interest in Krishna and no interest here, that's when Krishna becomes bound. He will only become bound by someone who cultivates uttama bhakti. This is highest, uttama, topmost, pure bhakti, which is the inherent function of one's perfected constitutional identity and which is uninhibited by fruitive acts, mystic yoga, and dry knowledge. So now Srila Gurudev is referencing that shlok we just mentioned. You can all say it with me, starting with Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama. This is the best definition of bhakti. It is telling what is bhakti. Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam. What is exclusively for Krishna, for his pleasure, for his happiness, for his benefit, what is favorable to him, what is under the guidance of those who have exclusive love for him. This is pure bhakti, and it must also naturally be devoid of desire for anything else. So I'm not loving you or serving you because I want something in return. That is called karma mishra bhakti. So jnana also, it is not with a desire to become you or to merge into you or to cease to experience the dualities of this world, to cease to experience suffering. I just want to merge into the zone and not experience anything, the white light or what have you. So this is jnana, karma, adi, anavratam. All of these other desires, which are not exclusively for Krishna, they are contained within the word adi. It means and so forth. And if we want to develop pure bhakti, then Srila Gurudev said we must meditate on and contemplate this verse daily.